You need to support us, we're human too! Yeah, well, maybe don't make shitty video games. I don't know. Skill issue. Alright, let's watch it.
So, Bungie's got a new game set to release on September 23rd, 2025 called Marathon. And it's supposed to be this, like, co-op first-person shooter, extraction shooter.
I was not impressed.
Players working together in what they're calling quote-unquote crews, which I believe go up to 3 people. So potentially you'll have like 2 teams of 3 going up against each other, and they define the gameplay loop as get in, gather as much loot as you can, and make it out alive.
Yeah, it's an extractor shooter. We've had them since like 2012, maybe like 14. I don't know. It's like...
The reception for this game is already rather tempered at best, but many are saying it looks worse than that. For example, saying it looks really boring, really bland, and uninspired, etc., etc. Well, in a Reddit post from the other day, on Sunday, April 13th, a Marathon dev came out with a statement addressing the issues that people have in his own special way, which you'll see in a moment, while also mentioning that he is a dev who also worked on the one, the only, Concord.
John Marathon. John Marathon.
Before we read that, let's get some more context on the public reception. Here are some of the top comments from the trailer that I was just playing. Comments reading, at the end of the marathon is layoffs. Hearing that there's a new Marathon game out and then finding out it's a team-based extraction shooter took me from such an elated high to such a depressing depth so fast that ancient Greeks are writing an epic poem about it. Art style has changed a lot since the first trailer. Back then, the teaser trailer embossed a gritty, surreal, and unforgiving feeling. An eerie one, to say the least. This trailer felt arcadey, plasticky, and casual.
Yeah, it does look plasticky, for sure.
Very different feeling compared to the teaser trailer. This is quite conflicting, to be honest. And I love how the general vibe in the comments is that everyone's just really underwhelmed. Alright, with that context, let's hop over to the Reddit post from the Marathon dev, who's also an ex-Concord dev. And
why am I not surprised? I feel like maybe it wouldn't be that bad, but ex-Concord dev in Bungie, in a Bungie game, like really? Bungie's really fallen off, man. It's really sad.
And I'll be joining you over there in VTuber mode. Hopefully you saw yesterday's video where I briefly mentioned what's going on with that. But super ultra quick TLDR, I'll be doing some videos in part with my VTuber model, maybe entirely with the VTuber model, or maybe not using the model at all. It kinda just depends, but the idea is it'll help me make more videos, get more content out there. And on top of that, it can also just help me get videos done more efficiently, because to be quite frank, it's less editing when I use the VTuber model. I noticed yesterday, like I got that video done way quicker than usual. Not that my videos are highly edited to begin with, I'm not saying that. But regardless, more efficiency is still a good thing. Okay, with that all said, we're over here on Reddit with the title, Former Firewalk /Concord Dev Talks Marathon. Yeah, you know it's going to be good. Hey all, former Firewalk Studios dev here. I've been a longtime lurker for many years and rarely post to Reddit / any social in regards to what is going on with my life as a developer / artist. After reading the comments about Marathon being Concord 2.0 on Reddit, YouTube...
You left Concord to go help work on a game, and then people compare it to Concord? You just can't escape the disease.
And Twitch. I just wanted to share a little insight into what a 40-year-old man is feeling after dedicating a large portion of his life to making video games. I mean, I guess maybe, but like it sounds like what you really want to do is try and like make people like think it's not going to be Concord 2.0, right? So for the past 17 years, I've been part of some great projects. But by the way, not exactly a compelling argument to be like, it's not Concord 2.0, we just have Concord devs working on this. Continuing though. For the past 17 years, I have been part of some great projects and worked with some of the most talented people who made me the dev I am today, excuse me. Many players know about Concord.
Made me into the game dev I am today. If one of your games died in less than 3 weeks, I don't know if I'd even want to admit to that. I'm not gonna lie. Did Firewalk Studios make anything else that was half decent? Like before it died? Game developed for PlayStation. Games. Was it just Concord? So it's just Concord that they were working on. Damn, dude. Not every tree grows upright. Yeah, some of them grow down.
And what happened with that project? Concord failed to inspire players, and the messages was heard loud.
I was a new studio, yeah.
It was gut-wrenching to see our project fail and be the laughingstock of many online. I have learned that failure is what drives me to succeed. No one feels as bad as the people who put their time on the line, hoping it will entertain the masses of gamers across the globe. Okay, pause. Did they really think? This is kind of like a rhetorical question, but like, it's still hard to believe. I'm going to change the point, actually. It's not a rhetorical question. Here's the point. It's kind of hard to believe that any of the devs who worked on Concord ever genuinely thought like, oh yeah, everyone around the globe is going to love this. Like,
I think Sony unironically gaslit these poor devs into thinking that this was going to be like the next Overwatch. Because they invested so much money and time into like the cinematics, and there was also a show, and I think like a podcast as well. Yeah, they actually like thought they this was gonna be it. They're like, yeah, everyone's gonna like love this. It's gonna be awesome. Yeah. Toxic positivity? I think it was that as well. I agree, but I'm just saying, like, if Sony, like, the cinematics were pretty good, like, the quality of them was good, but I don't know, maybe it's just something that happens when you're kind of silly and you're not very smart.
Maybe not everyone,
but
gaslight
yourself.
Massive gamers around the globe are going to love this game. My point is, how tone deaf do these people be? It's like insane. I am not asking for pity or even sympathy, because after all, this is the name of the game. You win or lose.
Well, you can't expect to win them all.
Some of you probably smell blood in the water and probably want to roast me for no longer lurking and exposing myself. I hope you don't.
No, this is a cry for attention. No, if you really just don't care, just keep on lurking. Why do you have to expose yourself? No, don't tell me that I'm doing a bad job. Like, what the fuck, man? Like, no one would have known that you're a Concord X dev.
And see that people create these projects and work very hard to be the next big thing. I commend them for taking a chance, trying something foreign to them that isn't proven nor guaranteed to succeed. It takes a lot of courage. Okay, bro. So
that's fine. It does take courage to fail. That's part of the reason why people make games or why they attempt. Like, no one's like a professional skateboarder as soon as they get on the skateboard, you know? Like, you fall and then you get up and then you fall and then maybe you fall less. Pal World's dev people, like the people that made Pal World, they had 2 sucky games that no one gave a fuck about. And then they made Pal World. Like, it's not that deep, man.
Let's discuss this point right here.
Is it you coping and saying that, like, oh, Concord was kind of, like, jumped on? It's like, well, I mean, yeah, it got jumped on because it sucked ass. It was easy to roast it. It had no redeeming qualities.
He's like, I hope you don't and see that people create these projects and work very hard to be the next big thing. Why do so many developers like this? Like, specifically, it's usually like AAA devs who work on a game like Concord.
Masochism.
They end up trying to have this like toxic positivity stuff, which is something that also got exposed to Firewalk Studios, right? That was like a big point of contention, that they had this culture of toxic positivity, I believe was the quote. And it kind of reminds me of that. It's like, yeah. Oh, I hope no one says anything bad about our game. You know, we're people that work on this. How is that an actual, like...
Yeah, everyone's people. Everyone's a person.
Like, counterpoint of any merit. Like, hey, you're not allowed to criticize this game, this AAA game, because, you know, people work on this. It's reminding me, it's giving me flashbacks, like war flashbacks from a week ago of the voice acting situation.
Yeah, like Paimon!
All these voice actors want to, or they feel entitled to like the public supporting their cause with the whole alleged strike that they're not.
No, it's weak mental. Like, unironically, I'm sorry, skill issue. You have a weak mental. You can't take criticism. Sorry.
That they're now calling a collective work refusal, right? It's like, oh, the internet should support us. The people, the fans of Genshin need to support us. We're voice actors. We deserve their support. And these people are like, oh, we're devs. We deserve the public supporting us. It just comes off so entitled. I don't know how they ever thought this like an acceptable thing. And
what do you mean deserve to support you? If you shit on the side of the road and start yelling at everyone to go look at it, and the people are like, oh, well, that's a piece of shit right there. That's kind of weird that you shat it out on the side of the road. Nobody's gonna be like, oh, wow, that's a really good piece of shit. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's a vulgar analogy, but, like, it's not an excuse. You don't deserve praise for putting out a piece of shit.
Like a good point to constantly be making over and over
Wow,
again.
look
As
at
if it's like
that
some sort of
poo-poo.
gotcha against criticism. And of course, the other fallback plan is, oh, when we get criticism, let's just say it's like harassment. That's always one that they like to use too. And we got this.
Imagine you take a fat shit and start yelling at everyone to, like, come over and look at it, and then when people say, oh, that's a nasty piece of shit, you're like, that's harassment! You can't say that! That's actually how these people function. That's so weird.
I commend them for taking a chance, trying something for. I think I read this already, my bad.
Look, my
Foreign to them,
poo-poo,
that isn't proven
it's
nor guaranteed to
stinky.
succeed. It takes a lot of courage. Okay, TLDR. TLDR, I worked on Concord and did my best. We came up short, but that's an understatement.
Yeah, short.
$200+
3
million
weeks,
loss.
by the way.
Game closes in like 2 weeks, was it? It's like one of the most biggest failures in gaming. And hey guys, we came up short, but we did our best. I mean, dude, if that's your best, what is like? Who would want you to work on another game? Yeah, that
I do agree that there is effort into pushing out a nasty, stinky poop. Like, your tummy hurts. Maybe you don't have, like, toilet paper. Maybe you have to squat on the ground while you're doing it. Like, it's hard work putting out a piece of shit, but, like, at the end of the day, nobody wants to look at it, man.
That was our best work right there, guys. Here's now us working on Marathon. Don't forget to buy it. Like, okay, bro. We came up short. Please don't punish others for our mistake. We are all human beings. Oh my gosh, there we go again. We are all human beings.
We're human
trying to create something
beings.
special, and Marathon is.
I'm a human being, chat. I have 10 viewers. It's because I'm a human being. You have to donate to me, please. Thank you.
No different. Be
Human
kind and be
being.
cool, as video games are meant to be fun. How about stop acting like the internet police and just make a good game?
I'm sorry, I'm pausing a lot, but that reminds me of, like, Twitter people who are like, it's so not hard to be a good person. And then the people that are typing it are just the same miserable fucking human beings who are spreading their toxic positivity everywhere. And if you start to criticize them, they fucking gang up on you, man.
Apparently have all these talented people working
Hate
on
it.
it. You got Bungie's AAA money with you too. But hey, people were saying this might be Concord 2.0. And
Concord.
dude had to come out and apparently expose himself to make this damage control post. Very interesting. Let's sort the comments by controversial and take a look at what some of the Redditors are downvoting. We've got this one at the top.
Oh yeah, there we go. -2 down dudes. That's my chat right there. They're getting down duded.
But actually, first I'll read this mod post. Though we can't ever 100% confirm anyone who comes to our subreddit, this account's user history appears genuine and lines up with this post's description. I'm going to leave this post up despite the reports, as while this has a marginal relationship with the actual game, the insight it provides outweighs any potential spam or off-topic content issues it provokes. Thank you for the unique insight, OP. It is immensely
Very
appreciated.
unique.
See my follow-up comment. What's
Human
that?
being.
Addendum. Oh, is this the proof? People, when I said that we can't 100% confirm anyone comes to our subreddit, I didn't mean we hadn't done our due diligence. I meant that on the internet, one can never be absolutely certain. A 30-second glance at their user profile/history, a glance I did 17 hours ago immediately validated this user's backstory via their LinkedIn to the highest burden of proof we can possibly provide on a platform like Reddit. Please stop reporting this post and DMing me about this. Okay, I find it funny how this mod is like, oh yes, this post is so unique.
Senior visual effects artist. So they're the ones that made the characters ugly as shit and, like, not be enjoyable to look at? Is that what I understand? Or is it different? Senior VFX artist. Is that different? A video editor, they do explosion effects? Oh, they do explosion effects and gunfire. Okay. Particles and stuff. Not a designer. Okay.
Insightful. Such a insightful
fair.
post. It's like, bro, the glazing, it wasn't very insightful at all, really. I mean, it's hilarious to note that this guy and others may have, this guy and other Concord devs, ex-Concord devs, are now apparently working on Marathon. But like, aside from that, it's not a very insightful post at all. So I don't know. It just seems like some unnecessary glazing there. But let's see.
If I had to work with that guy, I would imagine every time I criticized his work and I said like, "Hey, maybe that explosion doesn't look right," I feel like I'd be walking on eggshells and him being like, "Okay, Alana, I'm really sorry. I know I did a really bad job, but like I did a better job this time. Can you take a look at it again?" If I was the project manager, I would lose my fucking mind. These people working with them is like actual torture.
Some of the most downvoted.
No, I don't think he'd start freaking out. I don't think so. I think they would be like self-beating up. And, like, they have, like, this chip on their shoulder, you know what I'm saying? Like, rather than doing the work and just... Again, I don't think they'd freak out, because the post itself is kind of harmless. It's just that it has this vibe of, like, "Guys, I know I did really bad. Don't beat me up, please. I know you guys are comparing it to Concord, but, like, it's not that bad. I'm a human being." You know, like a wholesome chungus.
Responses. Because those are going to be pretty interesting, I'm sure. To clarify what I mean, by the way, sort by controversial on Reddit. That's a thing. I think it means like posts that are getting lots of upvotes and downvotes.
Yeah,
There's like an upvote downvote battle going on or something. Sorry, but bland, homogenized paint by number games like Concord deserve to fail. Devs need to be reminded that AAA games exist to be sold as products. If the first reaction to the game is a resounding meh, then rather than taking it as an insult or ignoring it, maybe ask why. Then put in the work to understand the reason why people are not responding to it and try to course correct before it is too late. Ignoring the issues, making self-pity posts, and hoping for the best is going to end just like it ended for Concord and Firewalk. You might not want to hear it, and this might get downvoted like crazy, but it is the truth and needs to be said. The main problem with AAA games these days is that they all try to copy-paste from each other because they are ballooning their budgets on useless tech that no one asked for. Not
only useless tech, the entire budget for fucking Concord was on the fucking cinematics and the show. The game wasn't even out yet, and they had a Netflix show. Are we out of our fucking mind?
That also has the side effect of being so performance expensive that it locks out half your potential user base. Example, ray tracing. This is very performance impacting. Barely makes a difference visually. And making it mandatory locks many people with older PCs out of being a potential customer. No one cares about Concord.
Yes, there was a show.
Concord's just a cautionary tale that other devs should learn from. It should be an example of what not to do. And this person gets -2 downvotes. So,
of course.
Quoting the OP and saying, "I commend them for taking a chance, trying something foreign to them that isn't proven nor guaranteed to succeed. It takes a lot of courage."
That's fine. You're allowed to make games that are bad, but like, when the studio shuts down and nobody buys your game, you shouldn't say that your customer base the target customer base of gamers are fucking racist chuds who didn't buy your game because they hate trans people and gays. That's the fucking problem. Even the people that are completely neutral, they don't engage in like fucking culture wars or fucking sociopolitics. They didn't like your game. They didn't buy it. I didn't even hear a single person in my chat, even if they had slightly like left-leaning views. They didn't buy your game because it sucked dog shit. It's not that deep.
Getting a chance with what? With making another bog standard live service shooter?
Oh my god.
With no campaign? Going
it was
with
just
bog
bad.
Standard acid color palette? Boldly ripping off another game in the genre without an ounce of originality? Oh, I know. They took a chance with ripping off their own old IP for name recognition, while having seemingly nothing to do with it. So bold, so proud. With all due respect to the work you did on Concord, and I did assume you did your best, but that game died because it was absolutely creatively bankrupt.
True.
The game didn't have a single original thought put into it. Marathon also looks creatively bankrupt. I'll be happy if I turn out to be wrong on that, but boy will I celebrate if it brings the modern Bungie down. Conversely, though, you've got this person who says,
dead, man.
Having played Concord for a good 30 hours, I enjoyed it. Wow, that's like 20% of Concord's life right there. Good job. The person really got some hours in while he could. But anyways, look at this. We've got a response where the OP responds. Says, "They're really bringing out the heavy hitters for damage control, huh?" The OP's like, My opinion.
No, I think this is a stupid statement. This person's just being whiny. Concord's dead. Like that ship has sailed. I think this person is being genuinely just whiny on their own terms, and that's fine.
Opinions are my
That's
own,
fine.
and this is how I feel. Take it or leave it. And the response that another user gives the OP, as well as this comment right below it, bring up the point that I was basically making earlier about the lack of insight, because that moderator was like, wow, this is so insightful. So these comments read, people will leave it. You completely failed to address all the problems with these games, and you're basically just begging for people to play your terrible game because you tried hard. You got hundreds of millions of dollars and years of time, and you could not come up with something more interesting than another generic shooter, and you made it visually repulsive because of some weird man-hating ideological reasons too. And this one saying, you didn't talk much about Marathon there, pal. 3 responses. Let's see this. Oh, the OP. The OP response says, I didn't need to. Search all the other threads on Reddit calling Marathon as Concord 2.0. I'm not your pal, guy.
I mean, it's because it's very visually uninteresting. Again, I think that the guy above was being really harsh, and basically the pendulum swung, and people are freaking out and then being like, this one guy is the reason that this game sucks. It's like the guy was just working visual effects. I don't think he had that much of an impact. However, his attitude in the post is very telling. It's extremely telling. If you interviewed him, he'd probably be blubbering and being like, guys, I'm sorry, I worked on Concord. I've worked really, really hard. I'm a human being. Please don't hurt me. I was just at the job. I had to do it, and that's all I did. Blubbers.
What the frick? What
yeah,
the
Trashman was peak character design.
Antagonizing potential customers. That's never backfired before because it is Concord 2.0. No need to talk about Marathon. And another OP response to this one right around here. There we go. Interesting time and place to come post this. The OP says, yeah, I sat by and watched the comments roll in while working at Firewalk. I hope the comments are living rent free, man. He's never going to forget what happened, the comments that people made about Concord. I had to. It's a matter of being professional. He says that this is professional. Ain't no way. I'm not going to sit idle anymore. Oh, wow.
Oh,
yeah, he's not going to sit idle anymore, guys.
Stop.
He made this Reddit post. Watch out.
Oh no, okay, stop. It's already dead. You don't have to defend your dead game, please. You're allowed to vent, that's your human right, but like, come on, man. I think Marathon Art Direction is amazing, nothing compared to Concord. I saw it and people kept comparing it to Death Stranding or whatever it's called, the fucking Kojima game. I personally think that it looks really plasticky in terms of gameplay. They could have had a really edgy idea, but they just kind of went really safe on it, and I don't think they pulled through on the actual idea that they had. It doesn't look what it's supposed to be, if that makes sense. Like, I thought the idea was cool. It's really edgy, kind of like Cyberpunk, like Death Stranding. Like, the cinematic was kind of cool, but then, like, I felt like the characters were just kind of, like, really meh. Yeah. And then the gameplay doesn't really reflect, or like it doesn't feel like the cinematic. It's not it just doesn't look that great to me. I don't know.
We've got another
This is my critique.
OP dev response.
It doesn't look terrible. It's just like
First comment reading. I'm sorry, what's the point of this post? If you're trying to tell people not to be mean, then that's going to make things even worse.
It can, yeah. It's true.
To possibly illustrate that devs are human beings. Yeah, no one ever thought that.
No one gives a fuck, man. The people working, like, I have a Samsung phone and I have an iPhone for my face tracking. It's made by, like, actual slaves, man. They put together my shit into a phone. They get paid fucking barely any money in some fucking factory in China. The fucking cobalt and the fucking, what is it called? Yeah, the cobalt mines in Africa made this phone, and the copper. You think people give a fuck about who made what as long as it's good? If I told the average person that this phone was made by a slave in, like, Africa, they'd be like, what? Oh, I should buy other phones. And it's like, it doesn't matter. It's still gonna be made by someone who gets paid nothing. the whole human being argument is not a thing for a consumer in this day and age. They don't fucking care.
Before, like, what the frick? Why you keep saying this over and over again, man? Like, I already
It's an emotional argument that just doesn't matter to consumers.
addressed this point. I just can't believe he's still going off like that. Making a game for enjoyment.
So weird.
Yeah, okay, enjoyment, huh? So you're working for free? Is that what's going on here? You're just not getting paid at your big AAA company. It's all for enjoyment, you know? You should feel bad for us to
Enjoy
support
this.
us and possibly resonate with others' ability to have compassion and empathy. The gaslighting is real, bro. The gaslighting is real. This person says, it's like telling a bully to have sympathy. I think this person's the bully, if anything. I don't think people responding to these terrible games are the bullies. I think the corpos are the bullies, to be quite frank. They made a terrible game, Concord, and want to charge people $40 for it, and then when the game flops and people don't want to waste their money on the game, suddenly they're the problem, they're the bullies. Like, no, dude, that's ridiculous. It's not how that works. These AAA corpos constantly bash gamers whenever they get a chance. Then when their games flop, they play victim, and it's all extremely manipulative. Let's go to this comment. This may be the last one to take a look at, unless there's another interesting dev response. Can we stop pretending that devs making the most generic games imaginable are somehow bold and brave? No other job gets a free pass like game devs whenever something bombs or receives criticism. I feel like they're being babied at this point.
There was a terrible restaurant that I went to one time. It just opened and it sucked ass. They made like buffalo burgers or some shit. I've told the story before. I never went back and that shit died within 6 months. No one gives a fuck in the food industry if a restaurant is bad. People will just not go there. The restaurant dies. Word of mouth gets out that this place sucks. Don't go there. And or it's overpriced. Like you just have to like understand how economics works. Like it's not. Games don't come out for free, man. It's expensive.
Tired of this. All right, so yeah, those were some of the comments sorted by controversial and the devs' responses to those comments. Let me know what you think about that stuff as well as the OP itself. As always, thank you so much for tuning in. Hope you enjoyed my coverage, and if you did, please consider liking and or subscribing. Appreciate you, and I'll see you in the next one.
Yep, pretty much. No, I don't get it. I don't get this attitude of like, I'm entitled to like, I'm a human being. Chat, I'm a human being. Please stop criticizing my stuff. You need to find your market. If you don't have a market, you don't have a plan, then skill issue. Again, I don't hate Marathon inherently. I think it had a cool idea. But at the end of the day, it's a fucking extraction shooter. I've seen it a million times in the last, like, 10 years, since the genre kind of popped off with the Division and stuff. And the visual style of the cinematic doesn't really reflect in the game, and the characters are kind of meh. Like, I understand the logic of, like, saying, oh, well, it's an android, it's a robot, and, like, you kill it and then it just gets replaced. It's like, I get it, but at the end of the day, they're very bland. Like, if they're running around on the field, I can't even distinguish any of them. If you're gonna make the argument and be like, oh, well, each operator is unique, it's like, well, I should be able to distinguish them. Sorry. Yeah. Scheduled dev played something, didn't like it where it went, and decided to do it his own way, and it exploded. Yeah, and it also had a cutesy, funny style, and it kind of worked. Yep. Boom. Bada bing, bada boom. Boom, boom, boom. Skill issue. Rip Bozo.